So here we are, part 6 of this 6-cycle oddball series. A little bit shorter video this week. I've been super busy, and unfortunately I only have the time that I have, and I kind of want to keep this ball rolling and get this engine finish up, because I don't know about you, but I'm pretty darn excited to see it running. So let's hop over to the milling machine and see what we can get done for today. Well, this is definitely not the world's best setup. However, I can't figure out how to put this large of a flywheel on my small rotary table. So what I'm going to do is drill these 2 holes with a end mill and then make them a little bit larger than they call for in the plans, instead of drilling all the way through. And I think this is going to work out just fine for balancing. I did some basic quick math, and I think we're going to remove about the same amount of weight. So I think we're going to get away with doing this, and this is a 7/16 end mill to start. So that's the 7/16 hole, 0.2 inches deep, which leaves about 50 thou clearance at the bottom, so I'm not poking all the way through. Then I'm going to come in with a 1/2 inch end mill. Run a 1/2 inch end mill down to that same depth, and then I have a larger carbide end mill that I'm going to cut in a bit with as well, just to try and make a nice clean hole. Overall, this is just for balancing. It's on the inside of the flywheel, so you really can't even see it once we're all done anyways. So this is not, chasing absolute perfection here or anything. This is kind of just hopefully making it work, which I think we will. Like I said, this is a 1/2 inch end mill just to clean up this hole real nice. So I took that down 210 to try and make the bottom of the hole nice and smooth. Again, so it looks decent. And then lastly, I have, like I said, a bigger carbide end mill, which I'm going to come down 100 thousandths with. Not that it matters, but I believe this is a 5/8 end mill. I guess if there would happen to be a lot of vibration or something when this is running, I could always come back to this and take some more weight out of these holes if I needed to. So there we go. That's one of the holes done. I'm going to punch the other one over here on this side, and that should complete the flywheels. Alright, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, or how well you'll be able to hear me, but what I'm going to do, if you can see those 2 little specks right there are silver solder. I'm going to try and silver solder this shaft into this flywheel. So I'm going to heat it from underneath, because the silver solder usually pulls towards the heat. I feel like at one point in time I saw the solder suck down into that joint, so hopefully it's good. I guess we'll know once it cools off if it's actually good. But that's silver soldering. Alright, well, we are working on making this piece, which is the crankshaft pin. You can see some of the dimensions there. I got one side completed off camera, Now we're going to turn down and thread the other side. We're going to shoot for a nice snug fit on this in the flywheel. I already have it turned down to the overall length that it needs to be. We need to run in about 52 thousandths on this. Like I said, we're going to try and shoot for a nice press fit, or a nice sliding fit rather. Let's see where we're at real quick. We're shooting for about 318. We're at 345. It's 324, so speed this up to get a real nice cut on this last couple passes here. That's about 319 and a half. It's really close to fitting. Let me actually deburr the end of this. Just in case it raised up an edge. Not quite there. This is going to be a couple times of going back and forth to try and get a really nice fit. So that should fit. Not quite. Let's just try to hit that real quick with some sandpaper. That's the fit we're looking for right there. That is absolutely perfect. Now we got to take a couple thousandths more off to thread with the die. I'm going to thread this 540. Slow this back down for that. Sorry about my arm in the camera. Forget how far I cut in on the other one. I think I went 260 thousandths. We're going to go a few more. Go 270. And that should be perfect. This needs to be about 311. Take two more off. That'll be ready to thread. Alright. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that, but that's bang on 311. And that's what we need to thread it. So I unfortunately don't have a tailstock die holder that works for this small die that I have, which is fine. So what I'm about to do is probably not something that you should do in your little home shop. I'm not saying it's not going to work, because it is going to work. However, just know that this is the wrong way to do this. What I'm going to do is hold this in a pair of pliers and use my chuck face. I really need to make a tailstock die holder for this size die. Like I said, this is not the way to do this by any stretch of anyone's imagination. However, it's going to work. Tighten up my chucks just a smidge more here. Yeah, so I guess this is where you say don't try this at home, kids. But I'm using, as you can see here, I'm pinching my tailstock up against it to keep the die straight. And it usually works out pretty good for me whenever I do that, but I need to make a holder, because I have a couple dies that are this size. This is just a cheapo Amazon special die, but it cuts really nice threads. Got that started. Get my tailstock out of the way so I can see what's going on here. A little bit more lube on that sucker. I'm going to flip this die around. Alright, we'll cut up to the shoulder with that. Now I'm going to cut a bit of a thread relief on the back of that thread. Let me see if I can zoom you in a little bit and show you what I mean here. So right now, cut up basically to the shoulder. I'm going to cut a bit of a thread relief in there. And to do that, interestingly enough, I'm going to use a threading tool because it has a really nice little point on it. And now what that did was made it so that a nut will thread all the way onto here and be able to bottom out on that flywheel. Actually, I need to run that die just another turn or two on that thread, and that should be the end of this part. It's as simple as that. Just to give you an idea of what we're dealing with here, I'll get you in shot. That's our pin, and then this is the other side, and it comes together like that. And then as this rotates, that's what creates the offset for the crank. And I'm going to make some kind of a nut to put on here. This came from again from Mr. Joe, and I think being able to take this apart is an awesome idea. So thanks again for all your tips and tricks, Mr. Joe. You do an awesome job on YouTube. But this is our finished piece. It's got some bluing on it. It did turn a little bit in my jaws, but luckily it didn't make a burr at all. So we should be good to go here. But it turned out alright. Flywheels run really, really true to each other, which is fantastic. Zoom in a little bit closer and spin it again. Very, very, very little run out on that, which makes me super happy. But anyways, this is where we're at. It's just all loosely assembled right now. These are just some pre-purchased oil light bushings. I had them from another project, so slide them in here just so we can see what it looks like when it's all assembled. So anyways, that's part 6 of the 6-cycle oddball engine series. Like I just showed you, starting to look like something now. Won't be too much longer till this thing's operational. A little bit shorter video this week, kind of crunched on time. We've been getting a ton of rain, so the grass is growing like crazy. And most of you don't know I have a lawn mowing business on the side. So I'm a pretty busy guy, especially in the heat of the summer with all the rain that we've been getting. Stay tuned for next week's video. I got a piece cut out already for the cylinder head and piston. Gonna try and do that all in one video. So probably a little bit longer video next week, but that's gonna be a big majority of the larger, more complicated components done. Maybe past the gears. That'll be a little bit more difficult, but I have a pretty awesome setup to show you when we get to cutting the gears. I think you'll find it pretty darn cool. So really excited to show you that. As always, thanks for stopping by. And if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next week.